Yes. And we are live. My. Let me tell you that. That took some effort today. Okay. Goodness gracious. Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Arizona. I am Natasha Tomlinson, and I am your host tonight for tonight's webinar, Avoid These Costly Mistakes, an Arizona home buyer webinar. I thank you very much for chiming in tonight to review these things that these critical insights that I've seen over the years here, and hoping to save you some money. Looks like we are okay. The counter just went off, so I may have been talking to myself for a little while there. Had a few technical difficulties today, but that's okay. That's okay. We're here. We roll with it. We just power through, right? That's how we do things, right? Life happens, and we just keep on keeping on, and everything seems to all the kinks seem to work itself out. So anyway, again, I am Natasha Tomlinson here in Arizona. I have been licensed since 2005. During that time, I've had the pleasure of helping many home sellers and home buyers navigate the Arizona real estate market. And today, I really wanted to share some crucial insights with you. So today, we're going to go over these costly mistakes, how to avoid these costly mistakes in Arizona home buyer webinar. Now, for the next 45 minutes, we'll cover 5 common mistakes that home buyers make and how to avoid them. And at the end, we'll leave time for a Q&A session. I am flying solo, so I do ask that you keep your questions towards the end, as it is a little difficult to navigate both. And so let's just do it that way. But feel free to leave your questions in the chat, and I'll be sure to go through them before we end our session tonight. All right, great. Well, you may have heard, over the last week or so, that the Federal Reserve cut the Fed funds rate again by 25 basis points. Before, they cut it by 50 in September, 50 basis points. This time by 25 basis points. Right. So this is the second reduction for the year. We also had a little thing happen earlier this month. The election, the U.S. election, that is has some folks up in arms. And regardless what side of the aisle you're on, the great thing is that now that event is over, and we can move forward with our plans, whatever they may be. We know what direction. We know that is taken care of. We know who is going to be president for the next 4 years, and so we can continue on. All right. Now, as I mentioned, this quarter point cut in the Fed funds rate, it comes as the U.S. economy prepares to shift gears under a new president, right? Under President Trump, so to be President Trump. All right. So some top takeaways from that is, again, the Fed funds rate is now in the range from 4.5 to 4.75%. Remember, the Fed funds rate is not the same as mortgage interest rate. They are not directly related, but they do play a hand in each other. And despite that Fed cut, mortgage rates have really gone up in that time. Now, as for mortgages, Americans are looking for relief, and they are getting some relief. Auto loans, credit cards, HELOCs, things of that nature. Some student loan debts, we're seeing a break in those interest rates. All right. So again, today we're diving into some of the critical mistakes that home buyers make. And mistake number 1 that we will review this evening is counting yourself out before you even get started. Now, as I've mentioned in the past, this mistake, it breaks my heart. All right, because People have dreams. They think that because of what they hear in the news, because of what they hear other people say, because of whatever story they're telling themselves, that home ownership is completely out of reach for them. And so they don't even bother investigating to see whether it could be a possibility. All right. So let's break down some common misconceptions and shed light on the reality of the home buying qualifications today, right? Today being November 2024. All right. First, we're going to talk a little bit about credit scores. I know people don't like to talk about their credit unless they have a perfect credit score, and few do, right? Many people believe that they need that absolute perfect 850 credit score in order to buy a home, and that, folks, is not true. All right. I've had clients tell me in the past, listen, Natasha, my credit is bad. It's bad. All right. So I can't possibly qualify for a mortgage. But the truth is, while a higher score could get you a better interest rate, you can often qualify for a mortgage, a home loan, with a score in the 500s. Okay. Yes. Sixes would be better, especially if you're looking for down payment assistance, but it is more than possible in the 500 range. All right. So keep that in mind. Now, let's address the next myth. That is the debt myth. And I've heard more than once potential home buyers worry about certain types of debt, their car payments, their student loan debt, medical debt, credit card debt. And they automatically assume that having any debt automatically disqualifies them for getting a home loan. In reality, it's more about your debt to income ratio than the absolute total amount of debt that you carry. Now, lenders, they typically look for a certain ratio. Ideally, they'd like to be around 43% that debt to income ratio. Don't you worry about that. You leave that to the professionals, because there are plenty of options for people with higher ratios. So don't let your current debt, your student loans, medical debts, credit cards, any of that, don't let that stop you from exploring the options that are available today. A third misconception is income. You see articles, the average Arizonan needs to make six figures in order to qualify for anything today. They need to, in order to purchase a home, and in order to buy a meal, in order to live comfortably. Well, what does that mean? Live comfortably. Okay. What is comfortable for you and what is comfortable for me may not be the same thing. So again, don't count yourself out. Many times I've spoken to people and heard them say, I don't make enough to buy a home. But here's the thing. There is no set income requirement for buying a home. It's about how your income relates to the home price and how that relates to your other debts. There are programs designed specifically for low to moderate buyers. And you know what? You may be surprised at what you qualify for. All right. We're not talking about what you can afford, but what you qualify for. You have to really take a look at that, all of your responsibilities. You could qualify for $2.5 million, just to throw a number out there, but that doesn't mean you can afford that home. Okay. Got it? Okay, great. Moving on, shall we? Maybe. Okay. Again, technology today, or maybe it's user error. Who knows? So what's the reality, again, of home qualifications? The truth is that they're much more flexible than many think. Lenders, they look at your overall picture, your credit, your debts, your income, any assets, employment history. It is more of a holistic view than just one magic number that determines your whole life, right? Let me give you an example, right? In the past, I've worked with a young couple who thought that there was no way they could purchase because of student loan debt. They almost gave up before even starting. But when we sat down and looked at their entire financial picture, we found that they actually qualified for a first-time home buyer program with down payment assistance. And now they are happily settled in their home, building equity instead of paying someone else's mortgage. right? Now, this brings me to my next point, getting accurate, up-to-date, current information. The home buying landscape, it is always changing. There are new programs, new guidelines, new options becoming available all the time. What was true 5 years ago or even last year may not be true today. So let's move on to mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is another biggie. Not taking advantage of down payment assistance programs, first-time home buyer programs. Arizona offers several fantastic programs designed specifically to help you get into a home, to jump into home ownership. And missing out on those programs, it could cost you thousands of dollars. There are down payment assistance programs that are specific to an area, specific to income, and it may require you to stay in the home for a few years. Some are even provide 100% financing, no down payment obligation for you. Right. So again, investigate before you just make up your mind that it's not an option for you. Mistake number 3. I can't count. Promise. All right. Mistake number 3 is being aware of the builder's marketing machine. And this is a big one, especially in certain areas like the greater Phoenix areas and the further outskirts of the valley, the west side of town, the east side of town, Pinal County, Santan, Queen Creek, Maricopa, Casa Grande, Buckeye, Surprise, Tonopah, Waddell. There are New River. There's tons of options for people in Scottsdale, Cave Creek, Rio Verde, just to name a few areas where you'll find options for new home building. And they provide wonderful options. We need our new home builders to help offset the demand that we have. People want new homes. They don't mind going out to these communities that are a little further, more of a further drive. And many people don't mind that works for them in their lifestyle. But what I'm talking about is understanding the tactics that new home builders use to get you in the door, to reel you in. And I said, don't get me wrong, they make beautiful homes and beautiful communities, but it's crucial to understand the marketing strategies so that you, potential home buyer, can make an informed decision. Now, first, we have the model home trap, right? Builders, they showcase their homes. You walk in, it looks great, it smells great. They've got goodies there for you. You're looking at these upgraded finishes. You're looking at premium appliances, professional staging, everything's landscaped. It just feels homey. It's meant to be that way. It is designed to make you absolutely fall in love. All right. But remember, what you see isn't always what you get at the base price. So another tactic is the urgency play. Right? You might hear things like, this is the last one in this community. It'll never be this price again. Prices are going up next week. And may that be true sometimes? Yeah, sometimes it is true. But often it's an urgency play. It's a sales tactic to push you to make a quick decision. Now, builders, they often have their preferred lenders that may offer you incentives for working with that lender, like closing costs, credits, and upgrades, money for appliances, things of that nature. And these can be great, but it is important, very critical, to shop around and make sure that you're getting the best overall deal for you. Okay. Now, lastly, watch out for that upgrade upsell. Once you're emotionally vested into the home, it's really easy to justify these upgrades that can add up really quickly and blow your budget, right? So I know no one loves that B word, that budget word, but it is necessary in order to get what you want, right? So let's dive in to Mistake number 4. Let's make sure this is advancing. All right. And that is skipping or waiving the home inspection period. Skipping the home inspection is like buying a car without looking out under the hood. All right. It's like buying a car and not knowing whether someone smoked in it or they ever had cats in the home. You might look great on the outside, but you could be down for some expensive surprises down the road. Let me explain why home inspections are so vital for the home buying process. First of all, a home inspection gives you an unbiased third-party professional assessment of the property's condition. It is your opportunity to really understand what it is that you're buying beyond what you can see. And it is crucial whether you're looking at a brand new build or a 1920s home. Secondly, the inspection period as a buyer gives you a bit of leverage. If significant issues are uncovered, you have the opportunity to negotiate repairs or maybe even walk away if there are some huge deal breakers that are just beyond your budget. All right. Without the inspection, you're essentially agreeing to buy the house, warts and all. Home, right? Warts and all. Lastly, a good inspection, it can save you money in the long run. It can identify potential issues before they become major problems, allowing you to budget for future repairs or even some later maintenance. Now, let's talk a little bit about what a home inspection covers, right? It covers the exterior evaluation. So you have the grading, garages, draining, siding if there's siding. Let you know the house has been painted if it'll need to be painted in the near future. Structural elements, foundation, the walls, the ceiling, the roof. Take a look at the roof and any leaks, proper insulation, ventilation of the roof, plumbing systems, covers the pipes, drains, water heating, water pressure. The electrical systems are also covered in the inspection, checks all the visible wiring. We're not breaking into any walls, right? But anything that's visible to the eye, looking at that, looking at the service panels, breakers, fuses. How about the HVAC system? The heating, cooling, and ductwork are all thoroughly examined. Interior walls, windows, doors, stairs, if there are stairs, are all inspected. The fireplace is inspected if there is one. Ventilation of bathroom and kitchen vents are also checked out for proper function. The appliances are looked at as well. Now remember, while the home inspection is comprehensive, it does not cover everything, every nail, every board in the home. And depending on the property, you might consider additional specialized inspections, like mold testing, right? If your general home inspection alluded to the need for more testing, you would move on from there. Mold testing, termite testing, radon testing, chimney, pool, spa inspections, things of that nature. And let me share with you a quick story, all right, about how an inspection saved my client really hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'll let you know how that is. We were working with a young couple, and it was their first home, an older home that they were looking at. And the home, it looked great on the outside, from the front, from the street. It was so cute landscaping. The roof had been recently done from what I remember, outside recently painted. And they decided to go ahead with an offer and go ahead and do a home inspection. And our inspector discovered significant issues with the structure of the home and with the electrical system at the home. Now, the structure, I'm not going to say it was getting ready to fall down. That's not the case, but there were some issues with settling in this house. And the electrical system was completely outdated. All right. And that, along with some other repairs with the sewer system and plumbing and the updates that this particular buyer wanted to do to their home, it was a costly undertaking. And they decided to walk away from the transaction. And yes, they had the cost of the inspection, but the cost to remedy everything that was found in the home was more than they could handle. and the seller unfortunately wasn't willing or interested in giving any credits, and really it was more work than they bargained for. So we moved on to another property. Okay. Home inspections, they can also help you with future expenses. Maybe the roof is nearing the end of its life, or the water heater is showing signs of age. This information, it allows you to budget accordingly and avoid surprise expenses down the road. Lastly, you have that peace of mind factor, knowing what your potential new home has been thoroughly examined by a professional. It can help you feel confident in your purchase decision. Now, let's transition to the next mistake, because people focus on the home inspection, on the property itself, the condition of the property, but really a home inspection also includes the neighborhood. And you should also be checking your insurance during that time, looking over documentation, looking over loan documentations. A whole lot of things can take place in that home inspection period. But again, let's transition to researching the neighborhood thoroughly. Because when you buy a home, you're not just buying the structure, you're buying into that community. The neighborhood can be a huge impact on your quality of life and your home's future value. Why is neighborhood research so important? Well, it ensures that the area aligns with your lifestyle and your needs. A neighborhood that's perfect for a young professional, it may not work for a family with school-age children. Secondly, understanding the neighborhood helps you gauge the potential for appreciation. Is the area up and coming? Are there plans for new amenities, new employers, new development that could increase the property's value? Also, be sure to research can uncover potential issues that might be apparent during a brief visit. All right. What do I mean by that? Well, the street may be quiet when you look at it at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday, but during rush hour, it could be Grand Central Station, or the area could have a history of flooding in that area. And so you're like, okay, how do I research these things? Well, take a look at the schools. Even if you don't have children, have no intentions of having children, school quality can significantly impact property values. Take a look at the crime rates, take a look at the transportation rates. And when you look at crime, always factor in the crime in your current area with this new area that you're considering, because crime is everywhere. Let's face it. Okay. Take a look at future development. Are there plans for larger employers, parks, shopping centers, road expansion? Are there less desirable developments in that area? What about other amenities, restaurants, parks, facilities that matter to you? How about the property values? Research the historical trends, the future projections. What about any natural hazards, wildfires, flooding, natural disasters? Take a look at the HOA and CCNRs, and we'll touch base. We'll circle back to that one, right? What about the noise levels? Visit the neighborhood at different times of day to get a true sense of the noise, because you may be working from home, or maybe you work nights and you need a certain level of quiet during the day. These are all important to your lifestyle. Make sure that this property works for you. What is the community vibe? Does the neighborhood feel like a place where you would fit in and be comfortable? What about, where can I find this information? I'm researching on my own. Yeah, I can always hit up Google. That's one option. And some of the other major websites out there, but sometimes you want to dig a little further. And so you check out school district websites, look at the walk score, take a look at news sources, various social media outlets, Facebook groups, Nextdoor. FEMA flood maps is something to consider as well. And always check with your real estate professional, with your realtor. We have a wealth of data and local knowledge that can be invaluable to your research. and making you feel more comfortable about your purchasing decision. Our next mistake that we're reviewing tonight is skipping the HOA document review. And hey, I get it, right? There's a lot of paperwork in real estate. The loan documents, the title report, the contract itself, all these things. You're trying to move, you're excited about your home purchase. You don't want to go through a 300 page, however many pages are included in these rules and regulations for a homeowners association. Whatever. How bad can it be? Well, don't ask that question. All right. It is critical. It's a critical step that many people overlook, and they later regret it. All right. And so let's say, what is an HOA? An HOA stands for Homeowners Association. Homeowners Association is an organization in many communities, and it makes and enforces rules for the properties and their residents. In Arizona, HOAs are incredibly common, especially in newer developments. Now, why is reviewing these documents, the HOA documents, so crucial? Well, again, like we said earlier, when you buy a property, you're not just buying the property, you are buying that neighborhood as well. And if that property is located in the HOA, you're buying into that HOA community. So the HOA community can affect a lot of things. It can affect the color that you paint your home. It can affect whether or not you can park your RV in the driveway, or whether you can leave cars in your driveway overnight. Skipping the HOA document review is like signing a contract without reading it. You may be agreeing to rules and financial obligations that you're not aware of, and that can significantly impact your lifestyle and your budget. So let's break down a little bit of what is in those HOA documents, what they typically include. They include the CC&Rs, covenants, conditions, and restrictions. And this is the main governing document, and it outlines the rules of the community, covering things like architectural controls, pet policies. Check those. It's important to many people. Could govern the size of your pet, how many pets you're allowed, or if you can have pets at all. And the use of common areas. It includes articles of corporation, the legal document that establishes the HOA as a legal entity, a corporate entity. It includes rules and regulations, the day-to-day rules that complement the CC&Rs, those covenants, conditions, and restrictions. It includes financial documents, which your lender will want that information about the current budget, the reserve study, and any information about any planned special assessments for that community. It includes community updates, newsletters, meetings, minutes from past meetings, the financial health. Take a look at the budget and the reserve fund. Is that HOA financially stable? Are there enough reserves for major repairs and replacements? What's the fee structure? What are the HOA dues? How often are they paid? And how often have they increased in the past? These are special assessments, and these are additional fees for major projects and unexpected expenses. What about the rules and regulations in that community? Pay close attention to those rules and how they can affect your current and future lifestyle. Do they allow rentals? How often can those rentals be? Can they be by the day, the week, the month, 6-month period, 12-month period? Are there pet restrictions on size and breed or number of pets? What about home businesses? Are they allowed, or are there any restrictions there? Goodness. What about architectural controls? Understand what changes you can make to a property and what requires HOA approval. How about amenities? What does that community provide, the HOA provide, and how well maintained are they? What about insurance? And this is important, especially in a lot of condo communities now. There's been some changes. The HOA's master policy, what does it cover? What is the deductible for the community? What is the deductible per unit? It could affect your financing. What about litigation? Check if the HOA is involved in any ongoing or legal disputes and violations and fines. Understand the process for rule violations and associated fines. Take the time. This is a large purchase that you're making. Take the time to review those HOA documents thoroughly. It can really benefit you in several ways. It can help you avoid surprises. You know exactly what to expect before you move forward with your purchase. It can allow you to budget accordingly, understanding all potential costs, helping you determine if the property truly fits your budget. Is it a lifestyle fit? You can ensure that the community rules align with your plans for today, your plans personally for the future, and the plans you have for the property. It allows you peace of mind. I mean, let's face it, when you know what's happening, it lets you settle down a bit, right? You've done your due diligence, you've done your part, you feel more confident in your purchasing decision. Well, folks, we've covered quite a bit today. Let me take a little bit of drink of water here. I've been going on and on. So, yes. Let's review some key takeaways from this evening's webinar. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Don't. Yeah, sorry. I just kind of knew that was going to happen. Okay. I can hear it. I can see it's like too silent. You know that with kids and dogs, it's just too silent. You just know something's happening out there. Anyway, let's recap the 5 crucial mistakes that we've discussed tonight, right? Counting yourself out before you get started, not taking advantage of down payment programs, home buyer programs, getting sucked into the builder's marketing machine and not taking a critical eye to that new home builder community, skipping or waiving the home inspection period entirely, skipping the homeowners association document review. Each of these mistakes can cost you time, money, and a whole lot of stress. All right. But armed with the knowledge that we reviewed here tonight, folks, you're ready ahead of the game. All right. So again, key takeaways from tonight's session. Don't assume that you can't do anything. Get the facts first. Explore all valuable programs and research those loan and down payment assistance programs. Keep some money in your pocket, right? Approach new construction with your eyes wide open and a critical mindset. Always get a professional home inspection and thoroughly review those homeowners association documents before finally moving forward with that purchase. Remember, buying a home, it is a journey, and it is okay to take it one step at a time. The goal isn't just to buy a home, it's to find the right home for you in the right place at the right price. So what's next? Some of you, maybe you've never purchased real estate before. You just want to talk a little bit about what's going on with you and if this is the right time for you or not. And I'm more than happy to do so for free. So by all means, connect with me either by phone or phone, text, social media channels. Be sure to do that so that we can find out if now is a good time or the near future is a good time for you to reach your dream of home ownership, whatever that may be. Folks, I thank you so much for chiming in tonight, for listening to me babble. And I do hope that you learned something this evening. And I do ask that you share this information with anyone that you know who is considering purchasing real estate in the near future. All right. And really, knowledge is power. It's corny to say, I understand. But it is true. Knowledge is power. It's powerful. And more informed buyers that we have, the healthier our overall real estate market will be. Folks, thank you again for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out directly to me. We are in a few social media channels this evening, and I'm just checking to see if there are any immediate questions. There's no maybe so. Phone number. Yes. Here we are. And I do that. Let's hit everybody all at once. Yes. Why not? Okay. Okay, great. And yes, no, maybe so. I don't know. Well, okay. There you have it. And folks, you have a wonderful evening. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to speaking to you. All right. Ta-ta. Ta-ta for now. Okay.